Gettle. I'm the Director of Communications for Hiring Our Heroes, and we're excited to kick off a series of Google Hangouts on our channel VetNet with our 8 tournament finalists for the Small Business Tournament of Veteran Champions. We're joined today by Gozump, a technology startup company based out of Miami, Florida, and they focus especially on helping military families go through real estate transactions. And Gozump is one of 8 finalists for our competition. We received entries from coast to coast, a tremendous group, as we're essentially trying to find the most veteran-friendly small business in America. And the winner will receive a custom spot produced by Spike TV that will air on Spike TV. They'll get an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to Los Angeles to the Spike TV Guys' Choice Awards, their biggest award show of the year, where they will be recognized at the award show. And then the public will find out the winner for the first time on June 12th when that award show airs. We are in the midst now of the voting process, so this is a chance for all of you to get to know Gozump a little bit better. And great to have 3 of you joining us today with Chris Trokin, the Chief of Operations with Gozump, Charles Malcolmus, the CEO, front and center, and Scott Gilmore, who's in charge of customer experience. Guys, thanks so much for joining today, and congratulations again on being a finalist.
Thank you, Brian.
Doing great. So first off, I want to just, for the people watching, would like to get a little bit of background. One, I think the name Gozump, and then also a little bit about the, you guys are a younger company. What was sort of the impetus of getting started?
Hey, absolutely. First off, Brian, thank you so much for having us on today, and we really appreciate being a part of this initiative. It's a huge honor. For us, Gozump was basically taking a stand against something that we believed heavily in. And the name was kind of adapted from a British slang to mean no more cheating. And Gozump is in the process of reinventing the home buying experience for the military. I started in the military and was transitioned from Quantico, Virginia, out to Camp Pendleton, California. And within 2 weeks later, I was relocating to Fallujah, Iraq. And through that process, I was trying to juggle a transition, moving my goods, moving my friends and family, and buying a home. And it was one of the most frustrating, inefficient experiences I have ever gone through in my life. And that really planted a seed that this is probably an area where it could be supremely better. And that formulated essentially with the idea of I wanted to create a company that we could infuse the military culture and grow as a military entity.
So tell me, how did you settle on Miami, and how did you kind of get the ball rolling? How did Chris and Scott, and you have a fairly small team, but how did it really kind of get going?
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. We were a lot of us were stationed down here in Miami. Predominantly Marines. We're 80% veteran-run company, and we all kind of came together basically because we've all experienced these frustrations in our own way. And we wanted to champion this cause. So we decided to essentially form our own brotherhood and go after it boldly.
Great. Tell us a little bit about how this, how your company works, and how, if a customer comes to you, what kind of the process is, and how you help them through, whether it's selling a house, buying a house, that kind of thing.
Sure. We try to make it as seamless and as easy as possible. Our goal is to make it simple, affordable, fast, and efficient. A person starts with us, they have basically everything they need with the technology, from finding a home to financing it to insuring it. And we integrate every single component so they can go from start to finish without having to go through any other major friction points or obstacles. And along the way, we pair them with what we call a champion. And that champion basically advocates for them on their behalf. They overcome any obstacle that they have, they reduce any problem, and their goal is basically to make sure that they can do it with as little frustration as possible.
So you've been around for 6 years, but you've just been incorporated for about a year. Can you give us a sense of how many military families you've helped to this point?
Yeah, we've been going through it for the last year, essentially. We've helped dozens of military families in the area, and every day we're kind of continuing through that process here in South Florida. We're right now looking to do a major push across the country into California and throughout the rest of Florida.
So to make that major push, are you guys looking at maybe recruiting more veterans as part of the team?
Yes, to accomplish that goal, Chris here has been heavily involved in the recruiting. We've established an initiative to hire over 100 veterans, reservists, and military spouses by the end of 2014. That's one of our biggest objectives. It's intimately tied to our overall mission, and we see a tremendous value within that community, not only in bringing the resources and talent that we need, but also as just reinforcing the culture and values we want to have as a company.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like such an obvious fit for your company based on your mission, but can you talk about, what you've seen and why veterans, especially, you being one yourself, why they make, such great employees and why they are important for your company in particular?
Yeah, I think Chris has got some good points on that.
Yeah, specifically, as you serve in the military, you'll see a lot of the culture and the values that our veterans have these days. They're such hardworking. Their work ethic, specifically, their mission-oriented mindset. I mean, it translates perfect to the civilian sector. Now, we all came together wanting to champion this mission, and it was just an easy transition for us because it went from one ongoing mission every day with mission-focused tasks to here on the civilian side doing the same thing. So military members with their drive, it's a perfect transition for them. Specifically, I think with the culture that we bring. And
Charles or Scott, I think this might be a question for one of the two of you. What is there a story in particular? I'm sure this has to be very rewarding work. Is there a story that stands out, from the past few years of a family that you guys have helped?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would say, right now we're going through a process with a family, and Scott's been dealing with this family regularly. Why don't you talk about Ryan and Nicole?
Sure. They came to us out of a lot of frustration that they were having with the agent that they had been working with, and once they found out about us, they were very eager to come join us. They saw the value that we brought to them as a military family specifically. And just rapidly we were able to get them through the process from point A to point B, and at this point they're just a couple weeks away from closing on their home finally after about 6 months of originally searching prior to coming to us.
Now, one of the things that we saw is that they were so turned off by the process that they had almost decided to just not pursue buying a home anymore, which would have been a real tragedy because they're a young family, they have 3 kids. It's a very emotional process. They're living out of a rental apartment that they don't want to. They can't even fit into it. And, we thought we were going to be able to bring so much more value with our technology and our efficiency. But truthfully, they just wanted to be able to deal with people that recognize who they were, where they were coming from, and we had the same sort of values.
That's great. For people that might be watching, what if they wanted to learn more about your company and potentially utilize your services, what would you recommend that they do?
Very easily, just go to the website and you can start right there. We got our phone number, email, and you basically can log right in and start using it, no problem.
And your website is?
Gozump.com.
Gozump.com. It's easy enough. Tell me a little bit about also what you guys are doing in the community or nationally to help, whether it's volunteering or providing financial contributions to help support other veteran organizations.
Yeah, Brian, I would just say, one thing that's unique about Gozump is that, we're so immersed in the military community that since its inception, this is something we've been committed to doing. And, we've reached out to a variety of organizations, the American Red Cross, the United Way. We've done, been affiliated with their joint venture that is focusing on veterans transitioning to the community. Currently, I've been asked to participate in a major regional initiative that's collaborating across multiple nonprofits and trying to establish a very successful transition for all the veterans coming home. There's a lot that's going on here in South Florida that we think that can be templated to the rest of the state and the rest of the country, and that's something that it's not just us believing heavily in it, but it's something that we are that. We are veterans, we are the military. You're looking at 2 reservists still in the Marine Corps, and ultimately for us, these are our family. These are the people that we care about. These are the people that we will ultimately be in our position.
And for people that are watching, and if you want to sway their vote, you know, you're one of eight finalists, but it is a strong group. Why should somebody at home vote for Gozump to be the most veteran-friendly small business in America?
I would say the first thing and foremost is that, like, our mission. Our mission is so important to what we're trying to do, not only for, the process in itself, but for military families specifically. And a lot of military guys coming out and entering into the corporate world, they have tasks and they have job descriptions, and they lose that sense of mission and, trying to achieve and accomplish something. I would say the second thing is the brotherhood. Chris has a really good story about, the brotherhood that we've kind of developed here, and he could probably tell that a little bit better.
I transitioned out of active duty in 2009, worked for a major company in the civilian sector, had a little bit of an issue transitioning, wasn't really liking what I saw out there, went on a few deployments with reservists and went back on active duty, and finally transitioned from active duty on the reserve side to Gozump. And Gozump brought, to me, what it did is it brought a great culture and a great sense of belonging and purpose that I was seeking, that I wasn't able to find prior.
Well, that's great. I want to congratulate the three of you again and your company as a whole for being a finalist. We'll be announcing the final four coming up on May 17th via another one of these Google Hangouts, and look forward to having you guys join us for that. Anything else that I missed that you guys want to add?
I mean, just for military families that are out there, spouses and veterans, ultimately this is all about you. We recognize the value and worth that you bring, and we want you.
Well, guys, again, Chris, Charles, Scott, thank you so much. To cast your vote, you can do that now through midnight on May 16th. Just go to VetChampsTourney.com to cast your vote. To the guys at Gozump, thank you again, and best of luck.